Aaron, you missed your cue.
I missed my cue.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, you don't. You have to wait till next week. You fucked it up. You had one job.
We'll see.
Megan had no idea where she was. They hadn't removed the blindfold in days, and she heard voices arguing. Do you have any idea what is at stake here? What kind of risk your colossal stupidity has just brought down on us? The large man said to three others. His face was beet red with rage, and he looked like he was ready to strike out if his arms hadn't been full of books and old-looking papers. Don't go blaming this on me, the largest of the three men said back. Nobody told us not to use the safe house. Of course nobody told you, you ignorant pig. This is highly delicate work. I don't need every two-bit demon poking their head in, trying to carve out a piece of the prize after I've been the one doing all the hard work. Oh yeah? And what is it you're doing that could possibly be so important? All I see here is a bunch of books. If you're trying to be hell's top librarian, I don't think you'll have much competition. Do you honestly expect me to go monologuing my entire plan right here? One of the most delicate and potentially world-shaping events in the history of demonkind? Our ticket to ruling everything unopposed. You expect me to fill you in? You, a nobody, barely a demon, and not even a very smart one at that. You expect me to tell you, especially when you brought a hunter bitch with you, who can hear everything I'm saying. I don't know what you're up to, and I don't care. You should kill her and move on. The demon's fist clenched with rage at the insults from the bookworm. It's not that simple. They took one of our own. The large scribe cut him off. I said I don't care. You've already led them straight here. There isn't much time for me to clear everything out. I've put too much work into this to have you messing it up now. Megan's shoulder brushed up against the corner of a stone wall she was standing next to. Her hands and arms were tied firmly behind her back. Whichever one of these goons had done it really knew what he was doing. They were so secure and so restrictive that if it hadn't been for being surrounded by demons, it would have reminded her of more pleasant times during those crazy weekends when Mom and Dad both had business on base. So much alcohol. She pressed her head up against the stone wall and used it to slide the tight blindfold up onto her forehead. She could see the ones that took her, as well as the one who was talking to. The books in his arms reminded her of the ones Gerald was always looking at. Actually, they looked even older. She wished she could get the tight gag out of her mouth. It was pressing into her mouth so deep that it had chafed the corners of it raw. And since it had been a few days, except for the little sips of water they gave her, it was starting to taste like a few of those late weekends she looked back on and wished had not happened. It was the weirdest memory. Tracy, her friend, 6 shots of stolen vodka deep, told her in a slur. Just remember to always be careful what you put in your mouth, because once it's in there, it's been in there. End of story. Tracy was such an idiot. Probably fat, barefoot, and pregnant by now. The bookkeeper spoke again. I don't know what makes you think you've got the right to tell us what to do, but I'm damn sure you don't have the muscle to make us. I see. That's how it is. Is it? What gives me the right, Firstly, I have the right because I'm a lot smarter than you. In a blink, the demon dropped the books he was holding and opened his heavy cloak. He pulled out a long blade about 10 inches in length, attached to a piece of broken wood that looked like it had about 6 inches of space to hold on to. The demon's eyes went wide with fright. Where did you get that? He managed to get out before the other demon thrust the weapon deep into his chest so that the point was sticking out of the back of him. There was a violent crackling of energy as traces of little bolts of lightning traveled all along the body before going dark. Secondly, I have the right because Romothere says I do. He pulled the blade out and let the body drop like a puppet whose strings had been cut. He looked to the other two dead in the eyes and said in a low voice, Now your friend here is making a mess. Will you two morons take your things and leave? They looked stunned, and that was when Megan had an idea that she knew she would be severely beaten for. Maintaining the element of surprise, she, in a dead sprint, ran across the short distance and delivered a mighty drop hit square into the center of the bookkeeper and sent him flying. She landed hard on her back, right on top of the books and papers already on the ground. The other two were mere seconds later in raining down blows on her face and stomach. She also thought she felt a rib crack when they hauled her up. She spat a mouthful of blood right into the face of the second demon who had taken her, earning another punch right into her already bleeding lip. The demons looked to be in a panic, not from Megan, but from the outraged demon who was getting back up onto his feet. The one holding Megan quickly stammered, "We got it, we're leaving." The other one started dragging the dead one behind him, leaving a trail of thick black goo. Right as she was getting near the exit, Megan stumbled next to an abandoned filing cabinet and almost fell over, quickly dropping the several crumpled up pages she had managed to grab from the pile on the floor behind it. She hoped that her friends were looking for her, and that if they were smart enough to find what she had left for them. That's enough out of you, she heard before another blow to her head brought the blackness of unconsciousness to her.
So go Megan.
Go Megan. That's right.
Unfortunately, Eric didn't witness that, so she doesn't actually gain any points.
None. So the coordinates lead you to Yakima, Washington. It takes you a couple days to get there, but you're able to get there safely. Coordinates lead to a little bit outside of town to an abandoned factory.
Like, is it just off the road?
No, when it was in play, it used to put out some pretty toxic fumes, and this was before the EPA really started cracking down on stuff like that. So it's a good 10 miles outside of town. They have like a huge factory, and then there's a big fence that goes around it.
These old warehouses generally had a rail line leading to them.
The Northern Pacific Rail Line is very near this factory.
That means there's probably an old rusted down gate that hadn't been used in forever that isn't right in front of the warehouse. So we should be able to sneak onto the land from there if we have to surveil any closer.
You bring the car around, you stay hidden. You see two bodies outside of the front of the building. One of them is motionless and the other one is propped up, leaning against the building. The one guy who's leaning against the building, he seems to be moving, but he's not moving a lot.
Do you want to set up a base of operations before we actually go busting in, or do you think we should try to get the drop on him?
What do you think on that? I gave a demon a shotgun blast straight to the face, and how do I stop it?
We did bring our Devil's Trap stickers and rubber stamp. Eric, let me see one of them stickers.
Yep, I passed them out.
We're not actually sure this is going to work or not, but it's worth a try. There's a ton of occult symbology that you can use in this job, and you'll learn along the way. But this is called a Devil's Trap. It creates sort of a ward, and if a demon enters it, they cannot leave it. You can also carve it into them. Which is what we did to the guy that we have in the trunk right now.
I didn't roleplay that, but yes, you do pick up the demon in Idaho, put him in the trunk.
And it keeps him from what we call ghosting out or smoking out.
Slap a sticker on this room, and it traps the spirit.
Well, to be fair, we haven't tried the sticker yet. But the stamp is definitely going to work, as long as it's properly inked. It's got a bunch of heavy-duty ink pads. The best way to deal with them is to trap them and then perform an exorcism. The only way to really get rid of them is to damn them back to hell. I have heard tales that there are weapons that can do the same thing or even possibly destroy them, but I've never seen such things.
This stamp and those are the most progress that has been made on
demon hunting in like 50 years.
I'm an innovator.
I mean, bottom line, am I going to... Is this where we're getting at here? We're just going to have to kill the host? There's like 5 or 6 of them at least.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Ominous,
Omnis immundus spiritus, omnis satanica potestas.
Testicles,
Omnis incurtio.
Yeah, Megan started reciting those words.
Yeah, it's an old Roman exorcism. Yeah, I jotted down for him in very legible handwriting in a notepad. You have to say it exactly. Of course, you'll need the time to say all of that.
That's why you stop.
Hopefully, our best bet is to sneak in here. There's a good chance this is a trap. She may not even be here. See if we can locate her and get her out without them knowing we've been here.
Could stay and watch the demon. I just got this feeling of killing, and I don't want to do that. I'll probably just get in the way. So I give you one of the radios. If you want me to come on in, I'm there.
Yeah, we'll call you for backup.
Okay, so Joe is going to hang back, make sure that there's no shenanigans with the demon in the trunk. Gerald and Eric are going to try and sneak their way in to see what's going on inside. You guys are able to make your way in, so you see parts of broken giant machines that look like they've been salvaged, stripped down, or abandoned to everything that had any value. A few desks and some filing cabinets. The smell reeks of sulfur. This place didn't just have a demon. This place has a lot of demon for a long time. You don't hear anything inside. It's very quiet. The place looks to be deserted. On the floor, you see a puddle of black goo with a smear leading all the way to the door. You guys aren't able to identify this goo. You know it's not ectoplasm. You know it's not blood. It's definitely something that you haven't encountered before. So you guys are giving the place a once-over. It's been deserted. For whatever reason, there were demons here, and then there are no demons now, even though they gave you coordinates to be here and meet them. Eric, you're doing a little bit more of a thorough search, and behind one of the file cabinets right by the front door, you find a couple of bunched up rag-looking pages that have been stashed behind the filing cabinet. The pages are full of foreign symbology, and on closer inspection, they appear to be printed on some kind of skin. Probably human skin. Preferably human skin. I mean, it is the way to go. If you had to make a guess, you would think that they look like blueprints, but they're not very easily deciphered. Like, it almost reminds you of the lore for the Necronomicon. A roll to see if you can identify any of the text. Not likely.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Well, let me see. Eric, you rolled a natural 20 and you still don't hit the difficulty.
What the fuck was the fuck?
Yeah, what was the point of the roll?
There was literally no way.
There wasn't, no. But you do find a name. It's a bunch of symbols that you don't understand, and the name Romothir. Romothir. You don't know the lore behind him, but you are pretty sure that's the name of the demon. Generally speaking, when there is lore on a demon, specifically by name, that's bad news.
Yeah, I gesture Conway over. Conway, look at this shit.
Damn. Is that human skin?
Preferably.
Yeah, it looks like it. And I point out the name. That doesn't look like good news.
No.
I found these behind that filing cabinet over there. This belongs to the demons. I don't think they would be that sloppy just to leave them behind.
Maybe Megan found a way to stash them?
That's what I'm thinking at the moment. This looks like some peek behind the curtain shit.
Which means they've probably left.
And that plus the fucking goo we found. We should probably take a sample of that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Joe, you're outside. They've been inside for about 10 or 15 minutes. You hear a vehicle approaching. It comes down through the gate and gets right up to the front where the two bodies still are. Inside you see one driver, and as soon as it sees another vehicle here, as well as the two bodies out front, you see a change in expression, and it starts to do a donut to get the fuck out of here.
No, it just does donuts in the parking lot.
A singular half of a donut, also known as a U-turn.
There you go.
If I'm holding a rifle and see a license plate, you make out the make and model of the car.
It is a Pontiac Grand Prix. You can't make out a plate because the car is extremely dirty. One of the things you can see is you do see black eyes. So there's a demon driving this car. You have a matter of moments before pretty much they're gone down the road.
You know, I'm gonna try to shoot out a tire.
I'm going to make a fighting roll.
All right, action movie hero.
Difficulty is going to be 30. Your fighting score is 15. You rolled a 14. 29.
You should have to pop each kernel individually.
Fire off a shot. The demon swerves the vehicle after it hears the noise. It leaves a hole right above the tire in one of the quarter panels. He's out of range. You may still be able to take off after.
I jump in. I get on the my walkie-talkie. Come out now. We got moving out front.
And outside, Gerald and Eric, you would hear some shots. You would hear 3 shots fire off in relatively rapid succession.
This car is getting away. I'm taking off, and I start moving that direction.
Okay.
I start going after the car.
Like, what do you do if you catch?
Hey, this is the dog chasing the car.
It's adrenaline. This is adrenaline.
You are using the Lincoln Continent as a weapon.
I swear to God, if
you're
you
able
wreck
to
my fucking car,
Okay, you are not here. You are
you're
not
out of
here.
the fucking team.
You are not here. Joe, this is your show. Do with this vehicle as you see fit. So yeah, you're able to catch up to the guy.
Tactic is I have a handgun. I'm sure they're in the vehicle. I would shoot out the tires. I'm close enough now. I'm rolling down the driver's side window, and I got one hand on the wheel.
It's gonna be a contested roll. No, he pulls some James Bond style shit and swerves out of the way.
I mean,
Okay.
if I'm maintaining a constant speed and I'm close enough to the vehicle, I mean, it's.
This time the demon rolls a 1.
I rest my case.
And you rolled an 18.
That wasn't
I
skill,
rest my
that was
case.
fate.
Hey, the dice don't lie. Move on.
You missed your first couple shots. The guy actually takes a minor swerve to miss a giant pothole that was down the road. And while he's navigating the pothole, you've got a clean shot because you know exactly where the vehicle's going to be. You shoot out the front tire. As you shoot out the front tire, it blows out. The demon overreacts, overcorrects, and the car starts rolling and rolling. Like it's almost one of those NASCAR style, The Legend of Ricky Bobby moments where the car rolls so many times. It rolls in slow motion. There's parts of it flying off. Now, you're able to avoid most of the debris except for one lug nut that must have come off a tire or an engine block or something that puts a nice chip right in the windshield.
Damn windshield now. Jesus, this car is just getting abused.
So yeah, the car is upside down with a blown out tire.
Okay. Is there a shotgun in the car?
You've got a shotgun, and you also remember how well that worked out for you last time.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Stamp in the car. Stamp.
They took the stamp with them, but you've got a sticker.
Okay. All right. And
Let me still test you. What R&D?
and a machete.
Okay.
I'm sure this is some machete, and I'm going out.
You see the demons all busted up, upside down, fumbling with the seatbelt, windows all busted out, and it snarls at you and looks at you with black eyes while it's trying to free itself.
Yeah, hit him with a sticker. I
Okay.
hit him right in the forehead.
You hit him right in the
forehead.
forehead with the sticker. I'm not even going to make you roll because he can't move. The white background, the adhesive background, prevents the pattern from making direct contact with the demon. That is the difference between why the stamp will work and why the sticker will not. So
Okay. Put it around, lick the front, and then slap it on his forehead.
this is not a temporary tattoo. So you put the sticker on it, Joe, and it looks confused for a minute. It peels it off and looks at it, and then it looks
Then I
at
look
you like, what the hell are you trying to pull? And then it cuts itself
And I asked it, like, nothing?
and
Nothing?
it snarls at you and starts to crawl out of the vehicle.
I take the machete, and I'm going for a kneecap.
Pretty much, you're able to get a clean shot with the machete. You miss the kneecap because this guy's a little wily, and you take a straight thrust just to kind of try and get it to keep its distance. So that was a move you made. You missed your main strike, and so you did another one just to kind of try and create some distance, almost out of habit. Except the demon came right forward, gets stabbed right through the middle, and it looks down and smiles, and then backhands you clear across the highway. You take one hit.
Fuck!
The blade is still in the demon, and you see the demon, as you're getting up, reaches in, grabs the machete by the handle, pulls it out, and he just tosses it to the side and starts coming for you.
I'm shooting towards his lower half. Like, I want to do some damage to his legs. I want to try to make him immobile.
You manage to get up into a crouched position. The demon runs up towards you. You barely graze his thigh. He picks you up by the wrist with the shotgun, rips the shotgun away, and smacks you across the face with claws. You've got 4 cuts on the side of your face now. So your machete's gone, your shotgun is gone.
I feel sprinting towards where the action is.
Joe?
Oh, boy. Fucker feels no pain. Alright, well, he wants to go hand to hand. I'm gonna go hand to hand with him.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't.
No.
Like, hear my voice in the back of your mind. You don't want to fight them.
You're able to do one of these things where it's kind of like a Mexican standoff sort of thing where you guys are waiting for the other person to act. You get him off balance just enough that you're able to cut the other direction. You will roll past him and snatch up the shotgun. You get a shot off, it hits him square in the kneecap. It makes some noise. It looks down at its knee. The thing doesn't seem to be that bothered by the pain. And it walks functionally, but not smoothly.
You can't move as fast.
Joe is
It's how you can't
convinced. Joe is convinced that this thing is getting easier to kill.
Alright, I want to keep my distance. I'm going for another blast his legs.
Joe, you're able to get another shot. You can't kneecap him, but you get him center mass. You're able to maintain some distance. He keeps coming at you. You have a flashback to the dealership 2 days ago. Gerald, repeat what you said about how to fight a demon. And this is what you hear in your mind.
Listen, dummy. No. And use your exorcism.
Lisa needs braces.
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 The only way to defeat them without them ghosting away is to use an exorcism.
Pull it out. I'll pull it out. And it goes. Oh, wait, the thing is,
It's impressed.
keep
It's a good 8
distance.
inches. Oh, the exorcism. Okay. No, you
The
pulled-
exorcism. Ominous mundus spiritus, ominous satanica protestus, ominous incursa infuriatus adversite, ominous eos, ominous congrata eo et secta diabolica ergo drago magdicte,
It's
security
struggling.
TV,
The demon is struggling.
Activius herbides severite te ramigus. Come on. That's all I got.
My big.
So here's what happens. Exorcisms generally are best used in a devil's trap. So you are pretty much running backwards, trying to read off of a paper, avoiding potholes. The demon is faster than you. You're able to keep your distance pretty much right till you start getting towards the end. Then you see some words on the paper that you're not quite sure how to pronounce. You're going to get caught once again. Pretty much right when you get to the ergo part, ergo Draco Medidecte. You take another shot. This one's right off to your side. And the claws go deep. You think they miss your liver, but you're not sure. You take one more hit of damage, and then for the rest of the exorcism, you're able to, and you finally get to the end, Te rogamas adinos. The demon smokes out, and the body collapses beyond dead. And then we've got Joe breathing a sigh of relief. Feel weak. You're bleeding from your side. You've got 4 cuts right across your face that are going to need some kind of attention. You're still able to move around, but you don't feel like you're at full power. Eric and Gerald, you make your way to Joe. You see the Lincoln Continent pretty much off to the side of the road, pulled over, in relatively good condition. Gerald, you'd probably see Joe before you would see the chip in the windshield. You see a collapsed body very close to Joe, and then you see Joe pretty much on the ground, sitting up, trying to tie off some wounds.
Oh, you're not dead. That guy is.
And you just see him staring out into space. That's Joe just looks composed. So he's just trying to process everything that just happened. He almost lost his life. That's the biggest thing. That's it on the nose. He felt powerless. And most men will cry out in pain. They'll bleed, and and he's experienced all that in his fights. But that there was unlike anything he ever experienced before. He almost died.
Now you know why you don't face down a demon by yourself.
Yeah, that's a good way to end up dead. Go have a seat in the Continental. See what we can.
First aid kit.
I was to say a basic hunter supplies would include plenty of first aid things and some second aid things as well.
Got any more morphine?
Gerald, you got some pills?
I'm serious.
Here, take one of these. Oxycontin.
Okay, so Gerald,
Morphine.
Flintstone's chewable Oxycontin.
It's amazing.
Okay.
I'll let Eric investigate the dead host in the car and see if there's anything there.
Joe, hurts like a bitch. Gerald put some butterfly bandages on your face, and he scrubs it out with some kind of antiseptic. And then on your side, he actually stitches up with some sort of silk line that will hold the wound together. He doesn't seem fazed by it, like this is normal.
What's the idea with stickers? I just need
That was Eric's idea.
sticker didn't do shit. I think it just confused him more than anything else.
Did you try flipping it around?
What? Give me another pill.
I give him another pill.
I'm not trying to hear this shit. I lay down in the back.
I checked the body first in the car.
Okay, the body is nothing out of the ordinary except that it looks like it's been through a war. It's got multiple stab wounds and multiple shotgun blasts. Well, it was a demon, and now it's just a dead person who was possessed by a demon. Eric, while Gerald is sewing up Joe, you would go over to the vehicle, and it's a smoking wreck. You notice 2 things inside the vehicle. Number 1, on the driver's seat, you notice some of that black goo that you found in the warehouse. Exact same goo. It's kind of seeped in to the back of the seat on the driver's side, and it looks like the puddle has run down and accumulated a little bit at the bottom. When you get into the roomy trunk of the Pontiac Grand Prix, you find some of your stolen items, including Gerald's sword.
Yes! Fuckers. Taking my sword.
Disrespect and inconvenience of it. Like, how dare you? Yes.
Yeah, we reclaim our stuff. I put that sword back in my back window.
Hey, did you find her?
No, she wasn't there. There was nothing in there. In fact, we haven't even looked at the people who are out front.
You make your way back, and outside you see a middle-aged man leaning up against the building, holding his side. You see another man dead, his neck twisted at an odd angle. The man who is leaning up against the building looks up at you, and he squints like he's having a hard time focusing. You'll never take me alive, you bastards.
We're really taking you anywhere.
Wait a minute. Your eyes aren't black. What are you doing here?
Could I ask you the same question?
What do you mean? Someone called me to come here.
Yeah, I'm Gerald Conway.
You. He points over to the guy. That's a PC. He's the guy that you called. He's a tribal chief in the area, Native American ancestry. A pretty accomplished hunter. Could be trusted to check this out. You called him. You didn't know that he had a partner, but you're not surprised. Apparently, a PC got killed. coming here to check this out for you.
So I'm guessing things didn't go very well for you.
Or for either of us. We followed them. We got here, cased the place out, and saw them pull in. It was 3 guys and a woman who was tied up. They took her inside. We were going to sneak in. The problem is they didn't stay inside. They came back out. They got to drop on us when we were trying to sneak up. They killed a PC and left me for dead. About an hour later, I heard a noise from a side door. The 2 of them that left were dragging a dead body and a tied up woman who didn't look to be moved. I did get a license plate, Florida plate GNF2133, but this was about 8 hours ago.
It's all right. Eric, you can work some magic with that, right?
On it.
I'm Brian Caraway. Joe, you've heard that name. Brian Caraway, he's an MMA fighter. Lives in Washington. He's pretty good. Record of 21 wins and 6 or 7 losses by your count. 17 wins by submission. You would know that because some of your techniques you have studied came from this guy. He goes by the name of Kid Lightning. He's a little old now, but back in the day, he was pretty fierce.
Oh, Joe sits up out of the back seat and hears his name. Is that Kid Lightning?
Ignore him. He's doped up on painkillers.
No. Caraway. Yeah, this kid. It is you. Kid Lightning? Oh, man, this guy's a badass.